tell me this shit ain't local, man. Same size as the moon. You can see this shit moving. Why is there another sun popping up right here? A whole nother sun, y'all. We ain't gonna get into all that though. Just look at this. This shit so crazy. And it's moving. You can see it moving literally. Like you can literally see it moving. Camera sitting still. I just want to know what makes it move though. We know it ain't no outer space. We know it ain't no zero gravity shit. What the fuck makes it orbit? What makes it move? Is it electromagnetism? What? I don't know.
It's being able to pick yourself up no matter what happens and remember how and who you were made from. To remember that every atom inside the universe is dependent upon every other atom. Like if you put your finger in the ocean, the entire ocean must register that change of motion and pressure condition, which means you matter, which means that no matter what takes place, you are the one that the universe depends upon as a whole.
It's not that deep. Yes, it is that deep. It is that deep. Who you talk to, who you hang with, where you go, how you spend your time, who you spend your time with, what you spend your money on, where you live, how you act, how you treat people. It is that deep. Because it sends a message out to the universe that says, this is a representation of what I believe, what I stand for, and who I am, and more importantly, the type of energy that I want to invite into my life.
It's cancer.
Cancer itself is not a disease, but listen, let me tell you this, right? Everybody think cancer is a disease, but what cancer do is your cells in your body, they clump like together, all in one, right? And they say, yo, these are the bad cells, right? They're about to cure itself. But you know what the doctor do? They poke it. Once they poke a hole in it, it spread everywhere, then take over your body, and weeks later, you dead, right? But listen, but that cancer need to be one thing need to happen for that cancer to go away. What do you do to a person that's in your house and you want them to leave? You starve the bitch. So if you want the cancer to leave, you gotta starve it. So what you gotta starve it from? The fucking food. Because the cancer eat the food. Right? Yeah, I was like, oh, the cancer eat the food. So if the cancer eating the food and the cancer steady growing and the doctor steady sticking you and it's steady spreading, who killed you? The doctor or the cancer?
So would that be an act of the government, or is this just an act of...
Listen. If I want to put it on the government, but the government is clueless too. Listen, let me tell you this, right? The government is clueless. Listen, the government...
If you talking to somebody and they say, yo, that's not what I said, and you're sure that that's what they said, that was a spiritual message. That's not what they said, that's what they said.
The universe is malleable. Everything that you want exists, but it's up to you to collapse that. We can already think about it, we can visualize it, and sometimes we can even feel it, but now we have to be it, right? It's not even about becoming anymore, it's about just being. Time is not linear. It's backwards, forwards. Time is like not what we think it is. Like everything's happening right here in this moment. So what does the person look like right now that's aligned with the reality or the desires you want? In the Bible, God told Moses, I am that I am, which means like I am. I'm not becoming or I'm not about to be something. I am that right now. So you have to align yourself with the I am version of yourself, and that's going to collapse the timeline.
So, Rising, Spirit said pay attention to the closed doors. Pay attention to the closed doors. We have to remember that rejection is more than likely protection. And your ancestors don't just give you opportunities, okay? They also reject. They also close the doors, okay? If it is not in your destined path, not supposed to be in your destined path, you will never be comfortable. Whatever it is, it will be so uncomfortable to your spirit and your soul and your nervous system to where you will know that, nah, this ain't it. Or he or she ain't it. Or this job ain't it. Or I'm supposed to be doing something that, whatever it is, your body speaks to you before anything else. What do you think, once again, what was happening before all the information was available? You had to pay attention. They had to pay attention to the cycles. They had to pay attention to their body. Your body knew everything before your mind knew the language. Do you understand what I'm saying? Pay attention to the closed doors, because it's not a punishment, right? It's not like, oh, God don't love me. Oh, I can't, this ain't ever going right. Or all of these things are happening. It's for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. There are no coincidences. There are no accidents in this universe. Everything was already written. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself within that space, what exactly is happening? And ask it from an empowering space, not a disempowering space. Okay, we're not begging, right? We're not coming from a place of desperation. We're coming from a place of power so that you can know what you need to do to move forward in your power, in your destined path, the path that was already paved for you. Okay? Free will get in the way. And you start doing stuff, shit, God say go left. You say, well, I want to see what's over here to the right real quick. And then life goes a completely different direction. So you're being asked to go back to your path. You're being asked to pay attention to your signs and synchronicities. You're being asked to pay attention to the closed doors and why they are closed in the first place. Yeah.
I just realized that I never told any of y'all how I came to start studying quantum mechanics. Y'all, basically I started studying quantum mechanics is because I went into my spiritual journey like really heavy a couple years ago. And everything that I was finding out within my spiritual journey, like shadow work, the different versions of ourselves, how to ground yourself, how to open up your chakra points, how to, use the energy, just the whole 9 yards about being a spiritual person and learning how to use it within this body, got me into quantum mechanics, because quantum mechanics just seemed to explain what you go through spiritually. So what you go through spiritually, quantum mechanics explain it. I'm not gonna say down to the science, but it explains it enough. So with me putting spirituality and quantum mechanics together, y'all, the meditations that a brother be doing, it would make you be like, damn, like I did not know I was this tapped in. Because y'all, we are the universe and the universe is us. Like once you start tapping inside of yourself, the things that you can find out about yourself and about life through yourself is crazy. And when you apply what you learn from spirituality and quantum mechanics together, you will truly find out how powerful you are and how magical this world is that we are experiencing through these avatars. So yeah, y'all, I am into that woo-woo shit, and I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. My page is way more than quantum mechanics, y'all. I like to talk about everything. That is why it says in my bio, meet me at the borders of my mind, because I like to talk about some shit that I think nobody be talking about, but here we are. Here we are, y'all, and this is why we are friends. So, my name is Kendall, y'all. Go ahead and drop your name inside them comments. Me and you are now real-time friends. And until the next video, y'all, bye!
for the millions of black people who took the COVID shot.
So if you took the COVID shot, you have a lot of nanobot technology in you. You got a lot of graphite in you. You got a lot of heavy metals in you, and a bunch of forever chemicals that changes the structure of your mRNA and of your DNA. How to open up pathways to get them out, and it completely destroys your nicotine receptors, which are very, very important in the body, which kick on a lot of detoxification pathways. So you blocking all of those pathways, which you're becoming congested and toxified, which brings on deficiencies. So I would say a quick thing would be nicotine patches. I will go on a raw plant-based diet for at least 21 days to start that initial detoxification. And then I would take herbs. I would take herbs like burdock root to cleanse out the blood, chaparral to cleanse out the blood, red clove flower to cleanse out the blood. Then I do things like cleaver's leaf to move and exchange the lymphatic system.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if it resonates, it's for you. Spiritual download time. If you don't take nothing else from this video, always remember that nothing is just happening to you. Everything is happening for you. Let me repeat that. All the BS and crap that you have been going through and you're like, oh my God, when is this gonna stop? Know that nothing is happening to you. It's happening for you. Let that sink in for a second. Like many other people, I always find myself like questioning what's going on. Like, I don't deserve this. What is going on? And depending on how much life has seemingly been beating you down, you may even find yourself questioning God, the Most High, your higher power. Don't beat yourself up. It's completely normal, but you must keep yourself grounded. That same hope and inspiration that you hold inside you when things are going good is the same thing that's going to take you on to the next level. It's only a test, y'all. Anytime in my life when things have like pretty much went to the wayside and I find myself questioning everything, it was always before the brink of success or my breakthrough. No matter what's going on in your life, you have to believe and you have to know that it can only get better. There's always a reasoning for it, whether it's a blessing or a lesson. I hope this inspires you guys. Always remember you're not alone. Love you. We're in this together. If it resonated, let me know below. Like, follow, and save, and share to any of your spiritual friends who need a pep talk.
This is one of the messages that I wish I could go back and tell my younger self, because I used to think every closed door meant that I wasn't good enough. If something didn't work out, if I got rejected, or if a relationship ended, or an opportunity disappeared, my first thought was always, what did I do wrong? But after living a little more life, I don't see those moments the same way anymore. Now I honestly believe that not every no is a punishment. Sometimes, to be honest with you, it is such a protection. Trust me, it is protection sometimes. And I know that's something that we hear in a lot of spiritual spaces, but when you really sit with it, it changes the way you experience setbacks. Think about how many things you've wanted in your life that just didn't work out. At that time, you were probably disappointed, maybe even heartbroken, but years later, you look back and you realize if that would have had happened that way, I never would have ended up where I am right now. I think almost everybody has a story like that. A job that they were convinced that they needed, a relationship that they thought would last forever, maybe even an opportunity that disappeared at the last minute. Back then, it felt like everything was falling apart. Now, it feels like everything was quietly falling into place, quiet as it's kept. That's why this particular clip resonates with me, because I do believe our intuition is communicating with us all the time. The challenge is that we've been taught to ignore it. Yes. Now, how many times have you walked into a room and instantly felt uncomfortable? Even though nothing has happened yet, or you met someone who seemed perfectly nice on the surface, but something inside you just kept saying, pay attention. You couldn't explain it. You didn't even have proof. You had no way of explaining why you felt the way you felt. You just knew that you felt the way you felt because it was a good reason, but nobody else will understand it because everybody else will be like, what's wrong with you? For those who get it, okay? You couldn't explain it and you didn't have proof, but your body knew. Yes, your body knew before your mind actually caught up. I think that's something that we don't talk about enough. Our bodies are incredibly intelligent. Sometimes your nervous system notices what your conscious mind hasn't put into words yet. That's why I always tell people to pay attention to how you feel around certain environments. Not just what people say. No. Tell me, how does your body respond? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel tense or suddenly exhausted? Are you at peace? Trust me, those little signals, they matter. Now, as far as ancestors and spirits stepping in to redirect us, personally, I believe there are moments in life where things happen that make absolutely no sense in that particular moment. Doors slam shut, plans can fall completely apart. You feel like you've lost something you worked so hard for, and then 6 months later, a year later, maybe even, oh hell, maybe even 10 years later, you realize that one thing had worked out, you would have completely missed something that was meant for you. That, my love, has happened to me enough times that I don't immediately panic when a door closes anymore. Do I still get disappointed? Of course. Absolutely. But I've learned not to confuse disappointment with defeat. Those, my love, are not the same thing. Sometimes life is simply redirecting you. I also think there's something powerful about changing the question that we ask ourselves. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Maybe ask, what is this trying to teach me? Or what am I being redirected to? That little simple redirect or shift, that alone can completely change how you experience difficult seasons. Because when you believe everything is working against you, then of course it's going to feel heavy. Life is going to feel heavy. But when you begin believing that even setbacks may have a purpose, you start moving differently. You stop forcing doors that clearly don't want to open. No, we're not doing that. You stop chasing people who have already shown that they aren't meant to walk your path with you. You stop trying to convince the universe to give you something that no longer aligns with who you're becoming. And that is not giving up. That is smart, because that is trusting. And I'm going to tell you why. That is trusting that what's meant for you won't require you to abandon yourself just to receive it. Message. One thing I've learned is that peace is one of the greatest confirmations that I have always had. Not excitement or obsession, but peace. Because when something is truly aligned with you, there's usually a sense of calm underneath it. It's like an ease, like you don't have to do much. It does not mean that there won't be challenges or that everything will be perfect. There's an inner knowing that says, this feels right. This fits like right into the puzzle pieces of what I call my life, or what I'm trying to build. And I think that's something worth listening to. At the end of the day, I believe life is always communicating with us. Sometimes through opportunities, it could be synchronicities, it can even be delays. Yes, listen to me. It can even be delays. It's trying to put you on the path that is meant for you and take you off of the one that isn't. So you're having major delays. It can come up in various ways. The $1,000,000 question: are we paying attention? Or are we focused on forcing our own plan so much that we miss the guidance trying to lead us somewhere even better? Yes, even better than what we have in mind. That's something I think about all the time. Because looking back over my own life, some of the biggest blessings I have today, they started as prayers that seemed like they were being ignored. Turns out they were not being ignored at all. They were just being answered in a way that I would have never seen coming. And I'm trying to tell you, baby, never in a million years could have seen it coming. With that being said, I would love to know what you think. Have you ever had a door close that later turned out to be one of the greatest blessings for you in disguise? Share your story down in the comments.
Let me tell y'all something. Real spiritual people and chosen ones do not care about being popping or popular in these streets. I'm going to say that again. Real spiritual people and chosen ones do not care about being popular in these streets. You know why? Because we popping and popular in the spiritual realm. We popping in the ethers. They love us up there. We highly ranked and highly favored up there. So y'all busy down here trying to please these earthly beings. We trying to please ghosts. We talk to the people you can't see, God, our ancestors, our spirit team. And plus, 9 times out of 10, a real spiritual person or chosen one already been done that already. We already been popular and popping in these streets, but things are different now. We popping and popular in the ethers, in the spiritual realm. We highly ranked and highly favored up there. So y'all can have all that popularity and popping ish. You know what I'm saying? Because being popping and popular in the spiritual realm comes with a lot of protection. And that's why y'all can't stop us. Y'all can't stop us. That's exactly why y'all can't stop us. And we're going to always be strong. Because it's always going to be unstoppable forward movement.
There comes a point where you stop asking, do people like me? And you start asking, am I living in alignment with who I'm supposed to be? Those are two completely different questions. For a long time, a lot of us are taught to measure our lives by outside validation. How many followers do you have? How much money do you make? Do people approve of you? Are you popular and accepted? But if you've ever gone through a real spiritual awakening, you probably noticed something interesting. The more you start becoming your authentic self, the less you can build your life around other people's approval. It is actually almost impossible. So why even try? Because the moment you start speaking your truth, not everybody is going to understand it. Some people will still be there and support you. Some people will distance themselves. Some will think that you have changed. And honestly, you probably have changed. Growth changes people, awareness changes people as well. So, if everybody is comfortable with the version of you today, maybe you're not stretching yourself enough. What I love about this message is that it shifts the focus away from being chosen by the world and toward being aligned with your own very purpose. Because those aren't always the same thing. The world rewards popularity, spirit rewards authenticity. Those can overlap sometimes, but not always. Some of the people making the biggest impact aren't the loudest people in the room. They're not always the ones getting the most attention. They're simply living in alignment with what they came here to do. Yes. And I think that's what being chosen really means. Not that you're better than anyone else, not that you're above anyone else, but that you've accepted an assignment that requires you to walk a different path. Sometimes that path is lonely, yes. Sometimes people misunderstand you. Sometimes you lose relationships because of priority changes. Sometimes you outgrow environments that once felt like home. And while those moments can hurt, they don't necessarily mean that you're moving in the wrong direction. Sometimes they mean that you're growing into the next version of yourself. Now, moving into the discussion about spiritual protection, and I honestly believe there's something a lot of people have experienced, even if they don't always have language for it. Have you ever looked back at a situation and realized I should have never made it through that. Like, maybe it was an accident that you somehow walked away from it. Maybe it was a decision that didn't make sense at the time, but ended up saving you from something way bigger. Maybe it was leaving a relationship, a job, or a place before everything had fell apart. Yes. When I hear stories like that, I can't help but wonder how many times we've been protected without even realizing that. How many times were we guided away from something that we thought that we wanted? How many delays were actually divine timing? I don't think we'll ever know the full answer to that. But I do believe there's more happening behind the scenes than what we can always see. That's one reason I don't get caught up in comparing my journey to anyone else's. Comparison is exhausting. Everybody has a different assignment. Everybody has different lessons. They are growing at their own pace. So why spend your life trying to live somebody else's purpose? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather focus on becoming the person that I am meant to be. Because if I'm in alignment, the right people will find me. Yes, Spirit Cipher Collective. The right people will find me. The right opportunities and conversations will also find me. And the things that aren't meant for me, they will naturally fall away. I promise you. That's a much more peaceful way to live. Something else I think is important is remembering that spiritual protection doesn't mean that life will become easy. It doesn't mean that you'll never face challenges, that you'll never experience loss or disappointment. Sometimes protection looks like having the strength to make it through something that was meant to teach you something. It might look like wisdom or discernment or walking away before something becomes destructive, you know? Protection isn't always about removing obstacles. Sometimes it's about giving you exactly what you need to overcome them. And I think that's a much deeper way of looking at it. So, if you're someone who's been feeling overlooked lately, if you've been wondering why your path looks different from everyone else's, maybe stop measuring your progress by what the world celebrates. Maybe the things that matter most cannot be measured by followers, applause, or recognition. Maybe your greatest victories are happening in places that no one else can see. The way you're healing, the way you're becoming more disciplined, you're listening and you're learning to trust your intuition. You're becoming more aligned with who you truly are. To me, that is the definition of real success. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather be deeply aligned than widely accepted. And if I have to choose between fitting into the world and staying true to my spirit, hey, I'm choosing my spirit every time. Yes. With that being said, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe spiritual alignment is more valuable than seeking approval from the world? Let me know down in the comments.